And let's get it in replay. Oh, wait, you can't slow down. Damn.
Now recording, bringing you DV in slow-mo.
Yeah, my favorite part, the clip I saw, is like the two Puerto Ricans just come out of nowhere. What are you doing?
Puerto Ricans age like cheese.
Is that domestic violence?
Like, I'd rather hear him talk about using children in a joking way than how serious he was when he said it's not domestic violence as long as you don't see the marks. That is
now recording.
You know what you do when you love somebody? You hit that. And speaking about hitting that, a little bit of drama went down at Fat Camp. Fat Camp has been, well, I'm going to be honest with you, I haven't really been following, right? I don't really follow Fat Camp. It's a bit of a boring show. Everything is scripted as much as Keemstar, and all of them would like you to believe that none of it is. It's just a bullshit show. It's trash television. I don't understand why it's so popular. But then again, fucking WWE and all of that is popular. So anyway, Luna Lizzie hit it on the nail on the head. It is domestic abuse camp. There has been a DV incident at LOLcow Live. Now, chat. I know that probably all of you have seen this already because none of you have lives. But nah, I'm not even going to do that. But I was going to ask you who you thought fought with who. But let's be honest, you all watch this fucking shit. Anyway, Wings of Redemption, he lost his shit a little because things at Fat Camp have not been going that great. And apparently, the build-up to all of this, right, is, and I didn't watch this again because I'm not going to watch LOLcow Live because it's an ass show. That being said, all right, let me know after the segment. Cole, remind me to make a poll. Would you guys be interested in now recording reacting to Fat Camp? Toxic says he doesn't want to cover Fat Camp that seriously. I think we could actually make Fat Camp entertaining for you guys. So if you guys like that, we'll do a poll at the end of the segment. Anyway, so what ended up happening was Becky, who was kicked off of the podcast because apparently she wanted more money and everybody doesn't like her and she's just a massive bitch. She got kicked off of the podcast and she wasn't going to go to Fat Camp. I think the reason that she got kicked off was partially because she didn't want to go to Fat Camp because she's afraid of exercising. Shocker, they're fat. And she gets kicked off. She goes away. There was some drama. People were talking shit about each other left and right. Okay? And then, suddenly, who could have seen it coming? Becky showed up at Fat Camp. Right? And
Wow.
Keemstar tried to fucking play it off like, oh my god, she just showed up. Well, it came out later on, the build-up to this was Wings of Redemption kind of let it drop. Keem kind of paid for it to get there. But then he was still like, no, it's all real, guys, it's all real. And then he's like, I just wanted to make the entrance a little bit grander, all right? It wasn't all fake, all right? I just wanted to make things seem a little bit more dramatic for an entrance. This is just a little bit of kayfabe, guys. And Wings is like, motherfucker, you're lying. You look weak. And then that eventually results in this. There was a little bit of tension between the two. The only reason that I think this fight is real, and we'll get into it, is Keemstar's hat comes off, and that is something that you never see. He's kind of like Ed from Ed, Ed, and Eddie. Except we know what's under his hat. He's just fucking bald, and he's ashamed of it.
Bald.
Anyway, press play.
And sabotage.
I'm not sabotaging the brand for a lie that you made.
Yeah.
I'm not sabotaging
Yeah,
the brand.
you are.
You creating a
That
lie
is enough thing. Quickly
sabotaging
pause.
the brand.
And you're even calling it a...
Pause quickly. So, Keemstar lied, right? And then he accuses Wings of sabotaging the brand. which is essentially the same as like somebody doing something bad, and then it gets revealed that they did something bad, and then they're like, well, I don't want to deal with the consequences of my actions. This is your fault. You told the truth. You know? It's a little BS. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, press play. Let's watch
lie.
the Wings.
You know,
It's a fucking lie.
you're even calling it a
What part
lie.
of it is not a
You're
fucking
calling it
lie?
a fucking
What
lie.
part of it's not a fucking lie?
It's
Tell
not
me
a
which
lie.
part of it.
It's not a
Look
lie.
right
It
there.
was a setup.
That's not a setup.
And
It's
why,
a fucking lie.
why are you getting loud in my face?
All right, now
Because I
pause.
fucking can.
Pause. Now, Wings may have stepped up on Keemstar, but Keemstar, being a little fucking spoiled rich brat, gets up and puffs out his chest and goes, "Bring it, bitch. Why are you stepping up to me?" Right? What the fuck did you think was going to happen when somebody's angry and you stand up like that? You're kind of provoking the situation, Keemstar. Anyway, press play.
Dude, are you fucking serious? You better stop. Hey, you better stop. You better stop. You better.
Here's the second clip of like them trying to hold him back. You know, it's like what's that what's it? It's one of Newton's laws of motion. An object that is in motion will try to remain in motion. Yes. Once you get him going, it's hard to get him going, but once you get Wings going, that's a fucking boulder running down a hill.
Do you think this is what would have went down if Wings went on that camping trip that he was supposed to go on years and years ago? He'd be just angry all the time and trying to kill people. Because I feel like that's justified from what I see here. If Wings isn't sitting in front of his computer chair, if he isn't drinking his Pepsi or Mountain Dew or whatever the fuck he drinks, Wings is not happy.
Okay, but to be fair to the fatties, all right, and it's different for the different kinds of fatties, right? To be fair to them, I'm sure they aren't eating as much as they normally eat, so I think they're all a little bit hangry. I think this is just a build-up.
Oh, you think it's like low blood sugar? Like everybody's like,
Yeah.
everyone's like,
I think like fucking Wings has like a bag of like Starburst right next to him when he's at his PC, and he can never let his blood sugar go past like pure glucose syrup. Right, it can never get lower than that, or he crashes out. Yeah, they need a Snickers, Purple. Or a Kit Kat. Take a break. Have a Kit Kat. All right. Now,
my
the
favorite
Keemstar
part's
fight...
coming.
Yeah, okay. So the Keemstar fight is whatever, right? The gnome, it kind of looks like the gnome was going to lose to a fucking 600-pound dude, right? Which is kind of pathetic. But this is the part that got Wings in a little bit more trouble than I think he was bargaining for. Oh!
And let's get it in replay. Oh wait, you can't slow it down. Damn.
Now recording, bringing you DV in slow-mo.
Oh. See that one more time, folks.
You like seeing bitches get hit? We got you covered.
Bro, he like shoves her down.
Okay, I want to see his hands though. Hopefully they show.
All right,
I know
hold on.
there's another angle. I want to see his hands. I want to know if it's momentum. Okay, no, that wasn't momentum. He clearly pushed her.
No, he pushed. It's 100%. That is a push to the table or whatever the fuck it was, bro. I can't believe somebody would do that to their wife.
Okay,
on camera.
But again, Cole, right? In defense of Wings, okay? If you saw a school bus, right, charging down a hill towards a bunch of children, right? A bunch of preschoolers. Do you jump in front of the fucking bus to try and stop the bus?
No.
Where is
what-
that momentum gonna go? All right, where is it gonna go, Cole? It's gonna go right into you, and you're gonna fall on your ass like she did.
She wanted to save his career. That's what she wanted to do. Because she knew he was about to do something really stupid. And now I don't know if this is worse. I don't know.
No,
I don't know if
it's so much worse.
I don't know if him
It's so
assaulting
much worse.
Keemstar would have been any better.
Him and Keem. Okay, we'll get into it. Press play.
Hey, that's your fucking wife now. Please don't do it. Go calm down. That's your wife, man. Go calm down. Please don't. That's your wife you're hurting now. Calm down. Go calm down.
Please don't.
Fuck away from her.
Please
Get the
don't.
fuck away from her.
Who the fuck are you? Who is that bitch? What are you gonna do, you twiglet?
Yeah, I see you too, Ford. Jesus.
Goddamn. Hello, Matt.
Hello.
I don't know. How have you been?
Chilling. Are we watching Wings Freak Out?
Yeah, we're watching Wings Freak Out. Did you see it?
Yeah. My favorite part, the clip I saw, is like the two Puerto Ricans just come out of nowhere. As soon as like the wife like falls flat, the Puerto Ricans just like, what do you do?
Literally at that point. We're literally at that point. I'm looking at the skinny twig of a woman. She's probably the thinnest person there next to Twiggy. And she walks up to fucking the mountain and she's like, what the fuck are you doing? You don't do that to your wife. And I'm just looking at like, it's comical. You can tell that girl has always had a boyfriend. Right? Because she can get away with doing this.
Well, no, it's her like that. That's what Puerto Ricans do. You don't like Puerto Ricans are fearless. Puerto Ricans will run up to a grown man and start swinging. Like they have no fear when it comes to that. They just don't care.
God damn. I will say, Puerto Ricans age like cheese.
Oh,
Wait, that's hold on. That
just throw shade.
Moving on.
Get away from her. What are you doing? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Go calm down.
Why are you lying about me?
What's the lie? Sometimes you lash out when you feel like you made a mistake or other people don't worry.
All right, we're
Ken,
bringing in the tall
why is she
guy.
calling
We're bringing in
Ken?
the tall one. She's like, Ken.
You know what's funny? I saw this live because I was like, "Oh, what's going on, lolcow?" As soon as I clicked, it was literally her falling on the table. I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Wait, are they doing a bit?" And I was like, "Oh, they're not. Oh, this is bad."
Yeah, I this is literally the one stream of like lolcow that I actually tuned into because I was watching it in the background while I was playing Rust.
Yeah.
And I started hearing like there was a commotion happening, and then I stopped playing Rust and I was watching. I was just like,
Speaking of which, not gonna bust your balls. Not gonna bust your balls. I get it. I haven't been around. I understand. I haven't been around. I understand. But you can't shit on me, right? For not being around. If every time I look in the now recording VC, I'm like, oh, there's Core and there's Beavers. Oh, they're playing games. Okay, like that. You can shit on me for not being around, but
we were
honestly,
discussing content.
And
I'll
we're
be honest
also
with-
hanging around the audience too. To be fair,
yeah, we were discussing content for 14 hours while we played Rust.
Shut
Honestly,
up.
that's like honestly when Beavers got his PC, I was like, there's gonna be like a week or so of him just like going through his gamer phase, catching up with Core.
You guys don't want to? Do you guys want to see my gaming streams? I'm kind of bad at games. I'm not gonna lie. The audience seems to love it though. They heard me. I was being last night. I was being Core's GPS while we were driving through. But I'm like your GPS if your GPS was smart and sassy.
Y'all should do a gaming channel. Y'all should start create your own channel, start gaming.
That's what I'm gonna do, and it's gonna be called BV Weevies Gaming.
BV.
And instead of having stumpies, I'm gonna have BV Weevies. And then if you want to support me, you're gonna have to call yourself a BV Weevy, and that way I
what if you become like this massive, like the next I Show Speed?
I think I could do it. I got it in me.
It's like
I'm only 30.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, you get canceled because they're like, oh, well, did you guys know he used to do this racist podcast called Now Recording?
Yeah.
That's how I
Well, that's the
speak.
other thing. I was thinking of doing face cam, right, at some point.
Mhm.
And then I thought to myself, I'm never going to do that. I've been on Now Recording. My face will forever. All right? I don't need that following me around.
I mean, when you hit like 1 million subs, does it even matter at that point? You're like making hundreds of thousands, you know?
Aha. Case in point will be our next person that we will cover later on this evening. I'm Alex. But don't worry, chat. We're not going to do that gay shit that everybody's been doing that Corv's going to do later. We're not going to fucking watch that whole thing.
Oh, thank God, dude. I was about to fucking leave.
I ain't watching that long-tongue motherfucker talk for an hour and 40 minutes. I started watching it. He fucking repeated himself for the first 15 minutes of the video. I tuned out. I do not care.
Here's the same screenshot every 5 minutes, mate.
Yeah. We will cover it for your fucking benefit, but I am not going to watch that shit.
I did want to say, Matt, since you're here, you always tell people it's a terrible idea when these internet people like fucking meet IRL, and this is like the example of why the shit because not only do you bring your shit, but you also bring your own personal shit. So Wings bringing his fucking wife, and now like that they're like reviewing footage of Wings like fucking touching his wife's arm. And stopping her from like hitting whatever.
Yeah, Wings is a self-saboteur. He's like one of the biggest self-saboteurs on the internet. And it's like he has all this momentum. He's doing Locale Live. He's making all this money. And he does all he has to do is make some jokes, dance around, fucking argue with Keem and stuff. And what happens? He gets into this huge argument with Keem. He takes it seriously, and then he tries to beat up Keem, which that's content. I'm fine with that. Then he goes away. Yeah. He goes away. Okay, everybody calm down. And for some reason, he's like not done. He comes back holding like a little fucking case that looks like has a handgun in it, and starts fucking going towards Keem with his wife trying to pull him back. It's just that's just Wings, man.
And I'm pretty sure he showed back up. Like after this all went down, he came back later.
Right? I think it was like he was in his truck or something. I can't.
Yeah, everybody like started freaking out because they were like, "Oh my God, he's here!" And then they were like the one person that was.
I was just trying to see if it was there.
The one person who he was angry at, right? I would have been like, while I was watching it when they said he arrived, I didn't know who he was angry at, but I was like, whoever he's angry at, leave that person outside. The rest of you go inside. That is the play. All right? Leave a sacrificial lamb. But, Cole brought something up, and it is a good point. I think that Wings has calmed down a significant. I know what we just watched, but I do think that he's calmed down. I think that if he went on that PKA camping trip, right, I think he could have murdered someone because he was a much angrier person back then.
Yeah.
I also think he was lighter, which is a scary prospect. He'd be faster.
Oh yeah, bro, that guy can move, man. That guy can move. Like
I told you,
he can go.
Once an object that is in motion will try to stay in motion.
Yeah.
It's hard to stop it. Anyway, as Matt was saying, right, Keemstar tweets this out after this huge drama goes down with the wife getting pushed. And by the way, people are... Okay, right. Chat, cancel me now. Should he have pushed his wife? No. Okay? Is that domestic violence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's like so. There's it's like a
altercation. It's like a
it happens at drunk parties all the time where like
the
guy brings his
yeah. It's like something
the guy
that
brings
be happening.
Yeah, the guy brings his wife. He starts getting in a fight with one of the dudes, and the wife sits in the middle like stop, and then she gets shoved out. that's happened before. So it's not necessarily like I don't know if he's going around just beating her every day, or he's like a methodical abuser, or if it's just like an isolated incident mixed with the hitting the arm thing too.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, is this like just an incident of he lost his cool, right? Or is he a domestic abuser? Like, I think there is a distinction that should be made between those two things, right? Like, if he clocked her in the fucking jaw, right?
Yeah.
And he started railing on her face, I would have been on your side. I would have been like, okay, this guy needs to be locked up and put on a list.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I don't think that a push, right, is domestic abuse. Okay? I think it's just he's a very unhealthy.
It's definitely a domestic altercation. It's like in a.
It would be the police probably wouldn't arrest you for it, but they'd give you a stern talking to, and they'd be aware of you.
If she were to press charges, he would have gotten arrested in that moment. If she was like, "Yeah, I was pushed. He attacked me," or whatever, like I was shoved, they would have took him to jail. But the fact remains is she's not going to, do that.
And some officers would even say, like, "All right, listen, you two, you're separate for tonight. All right, wake up tomorrow, and you guys can settle it or whatever, and we'll figure this out. But for tonight, you guys aren't together. All right."
Hey, Beavers. By the way, I think Xylee's watching the VOD. Like, or she might be like 5 or 6 months back.
Okay, but guys, all I'm going to say, right, is I am a traditionalist. This is why I can't show my face. I am a traditionalist. All right. When I think if I'm going to do domestic violence, you're leaving with a black eye at minimum.
Why did you say that?
I am going to jail. All right. I'm leaving a mark. I might even put a cigarette out on you so that it's permanent.
He just wants soundbite. That's all he wants now.
But it wouldn't be funny if like Wings just like pushes her down and then she like turns around, lights a cigarette, and just like, get out of my way, and starts like starts attacking her. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah, what you do is in that moment, in that situation, right, you clock her in the fucking jaw, right, while you're smoking a cigarette, and then when she falls to the ground crying, you take the cigarette and you like throw it onto her.
Well, that's
badass clip. Plus, you go to jail for a good reason. It's like, okay, let me put it to you this way, guys. Okay, you guys think I'm being ridiculous right now, but if you were a thief, right? If you were a home burglar, are you gonna go burgle the guy that's on fucking government assistance on food stamps, or are you gonna go rob the millionaire? You're gonna go to jail for the same amount of time. You might as well make it worth your time.
I don't think that. Like, I don't think your analogy, because like I don't think robbing a house is the same as beating a woman. Like robbing a house at least gets you a profit for the risk. Beating a woman gets you nothing besides like the
satisfaction.
Okay,
Katzaflocken gets it. Smoking a cigarette makes it cooler too. Yes, it does. That would have been a badass moment.
This is why we need somebody else, because I can't stop Beavers as much as I want to.
All right, so all that shit goes down, right? All that shit goes down. Fucking lol cow, fucking called the cow for a reason. They fucking milk it like there's no tomorrow, right? And by the way, they tried running a fake narrative of He didn't push her. She tripped.
Yeah. Nah. I was like, dude, it's so funny because it's like it's literally like she tripped, but then you like look at the clip and it's like arms.
Technically, she did trip over the table.
Yeah, but it's like like a little shove, bro.
I don't know what that is.
Someone. That's like shooting someone and being like, they bled out. They just bled out there on the ground, ignoring the fact that you shot them to get them there. So
I don't understand why she shouldn't have gotten in the middle of this because Boogie was like right there. Like Boogie, like how funny would it have been if he like
you think
tripped over Boogie?
He's a little.
I don't know why a woman. I don't know why a woman would ever get in the way of men trying to fight. You're just fucking stupid.
But it's like we could have seen see what kind of man Boogie is in that moment, right?
Well, you can see what kind of man Boogie is. You can see the fucking look at that
Well,
when you pull.
Yeah,
Look at that fucking look at
he's,
that.
like,
That's the face he
flinching.
made. He's going back to his childhood in that moment.
Yeah.
Here, look. Oh shit! He looks like a fucking scared puppy. Like, oh god. I just got screamed at.
Mom,
What?
Dad, stop fighting, please, please. Oh my god!
Billy's standing back because I don't think Billy has the physical fitness to do.
If it was 2020, Billy,
Oh, he would have
I
fucked
think
him
it
up.
would have been yeah.
He would have fucked him up.
2020, Billy would have fucked up Wing.
Pacemaker Billy, not so much. Pacemaker Billy's trying to use his. Also, by the way, I love Billy. Okay, I love Billy. It is fucking obscene to see all these fat people on stream. It is.
I think Billy's lost like 50 pounds since being there.
Good on him. Good on him. But I'm
50
just saying,
pounds.
it is.
Ow!
Because when you're
No,
like
we-
super fat, when you're super fat, if you're like 600 pounds, if you take like 2 weeks just to walk around and try to be fit, you'll lose like 50 to 80 pounds in that 2 weeks
Or a
because of
leg.
how fat you are.
Or leg.
Or thanks, guys.
Matt, I think
I
your
mean-
calculations are off. I think you lost a limb.
Yeah. Shout out to someone in our chat named Officer Downey. Great name. By the way.
No, I was saying this to before. Okay, we do need to move on at some point. But I was saying this to, I think it was in a VC with like Burn and a few people. I was telling them with these like lol cows or with the fat people, when you're that size, they could literally eat takeaway, like takeout, 3 times a day. And if they just ordered medium meals, they'd lose weight.
Yeah. 100%.
Like they could
Like,
literally
Billy-
just had fat camp, but sponsored by McDonald's.
Like Billy
And all they
literally
get is kids meals.
Yeah, Billy dropped like 200, 300 pounds in like 2019. So like it's difficult because you're fat and it's hard to move around. But once you get going, you got a chance. Also,
You hear that, fatties in chat? You got a chance.
one last like Officer Downey in chat. I forgot to read his chat. He said all the guys there are pussies for not beating his face in, for shoving his wife. Here's the thing, Officer Downey. You gotta when we watch stuff like this, we're like hindsight detectives. We go, oh, if I was there, it would have been different, or I can't believe they didn't do. You gotta understand the surrealness of the situation. You're at fat camp, you're hanging out with a bunch of random lolcow YouTubers, and all of a sudden Wings of Redemption gets in a fight with Keen. You see Keen without his hat, and then like 10 minutes later, now Wings has just pushed his wife. Like that's a whole lot to take in, man. Like everything, like
Yeah,
you start
that,
thinking like yeah, you start thinking like, is this even real? Like, what's going on?
No, and there's
Like,
also
what is this like?
there's also the added aspect of, and I don't think this is a small contributor at all. Let's say one of them get in and they fight with Wings, right? And they beat him to a pulp. I mean, these guys are also worried about their bag, right? They don't want to do any extreme actions that are going to negatively affect them, right? Which is probably why Boogie just sat there like the lump that he is. He was just like, it doesn't involve me. I'm still getting my paycheck. Woo-hoo! They're going to kick Wings off. I'm going to get paid more. You know?
Shout out to the Puerto Ricans who got in the middle of it, though.
Yeah. Shout out to the regular age and the mature.
Bro, by the way, before I know we got to move on, but before like Wings did the whole wife thing, I was on his side because like I was like, fuck yeah, Wings, go after Keem. Like, dude, it was awesome. He like straight up fucking was just like wrapped Keem around and there was like a fight. It was cool.
Well, this is,
And then
well, actually, that's not the first time he's been assaulted on camera.
No, he's been in a fight. He's been in an actual fight on camera. Like there's footage of it. There's two fights he's been in.
There was like a bar, like he was doing a fan meetup, and there was like it was at like a bar or something. And
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
came
yeah.
up to him and like swung him in the face.
Yeah, and then there's a situation like a long time ago where he's outside and it's a dude that's bigger than him, and they actually like legit fight. And Keem, I think Keen pretty much held his own in that situation. Teddy with the 999 says, "Wait, I'm so confused. Did Wings rob a rich guy's house or something?" Okay.
Well, the
right.
other funny thing about it is that, like you say, Keen was in his previous tweet that course skipped over because it was on the screen for too long. In the previous tweet, Keen said that they apologized, right? He accepted the apology. So I don't think that the fight would have done anything. And in any case, I think that he probably would have taken the fight in his stride, because that is kind of Wings' role on the podcast. You have Boogie the yes man and Wings the Debbie Downer.
Yeah, the rebel, right?
Yeah.
That would have been a great content to like. They could have talked about that for like other podcasts. The problem is Wings can't calm himself down and be like, okay, I popped off, I went crazy for a second, I need to get away and calm down, and then we can go do some content after this. You know, he couldn't get in that mindset.
Because it is kind of a bit sad, because in terms of like Wings's persona progression, right? You know, that whole I'm the guy that's going to stand up to Keen, right?
Yeah.
This would have like put him over the top. I think if he hadn't have pushed the wife, Kelly, I think he might have been very popular with the audience, incredibly popular with them for like standing up to Keen the way that he did. But anyway, so Keen tweets out, everybody is fine, nobody is seriously hurt. He apologized to me, I accept his apology. The other clip of Wings pushing his wife resulted in Wings being kicked out from Fat Camp. Obviously, that's totally unacceptable. I'm not really sure what is going to happen in the future, but as right now, we just need to de-escalate the situation. Thank you for all your concerns, but I promise you, everyone's fine. And then we had a follow-up tweet from LolCow Live tweeting out, Wings of Redemption is currently on a non-paid suspension from LolCow Live / LolCow Universe. I doubt that. We will make a decision on his fate after Fat Camp when we have time to process everything that has happened. Keem. That's the only person that had any input on that. The boogie part was added there for consolation. And then Keen tweets out, much like the previous one, after watching the second clip of Wings slapping. Did he slap her? We'll go.
I'll bring up the clip.
And grabbing Kelly's arm on the way to Fat Camp. We have made the decision to terminate our relationship with Wings of Redemption. He has been fired. He will be back in 2 weeks. At LolCow Live, you give like how when you're at a normal job you give your 2 weeks notice. This is like the reverse. They fire you and give you 2 weeks notice of when you'll be back.
When you'll be back.
Yeah, we'll see him soon. All right, let's go back to that clip. I want to see if he slapped her.
No, there's another clip. It's another clip.
I'm looking it up on us.
Oh,
what? You didn't have it ready.
Damn it!
I don't
You're
want to
supposed to be the producer of this show, Cole.
Oh man, it's like I'm actually trying to do my job. Kind of
crazy. And now you put me in the position where I need to talk to people. Anyway, chat. What that question that I asked you? We'll do it with 1s and 2s, and I'll keep mental track because I'm definitely not biased. What do you guys think of now recording covering the Fat Camp? We won't do other LolCow stuff for the majority, but I think that we could make Fat Camp interesting.
Aren't we covering it right now?
Well, we're covering this, but you know, like what Toxic does?
Yeah.
On his channel. He said he's not too interested in the Fat Camp stuff. Right?
What?
Yeah.
he just covered it for like 6 hours. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, that's what he said in the chat. All right. He's going back on his word. All right. I'm not making things up. I have it in the DMs, I think, or I'm making it up. Either way, chat. Would you guys be interested in now recording retroactively reacting to LolCow Fat Camp? 1 in chat if you want us to react to it. 2 in chat if you can't be fucking bothered.
All right, got the clip.
All right, let's watch. Remember to vote.
You start seeing it go up, now you go.
We made it so far.
Stop! Yep, there you go.
Come on, that was a little kitty swipe.
I can play it in slow-mo here.
Unfortunately, you know, if that was it, if this was isolated, you could go, yeah, he got a little frustrated, and she was honking horn, he got a little too excited. Unfortunately, he shoved his wife on a table.
Unfortunately, earlier that day.
Yeah.
I like how they have the domestic violence number on the bottom.
Keem's smart, man. Keem is a smart guy.
Okay, that's not true. You've said Keem is not a smart guy. Well, you said he fumbled his way to success.
But he has his like he when it comes to optics, like you got to understand, Keem's been canceled like 50 times, so he knows his like way to like wiggle around and be like, okay, we just had a woman get pushed. All right, how do I figure this out? We'll put the domestic violence number in the corner of the stream, like that. Like that's what Keem does. It's like street smarts, but with like YouTube.
How do you think what's her name feels, by the way? Now that we're talking about Keem. Who's Babs, right? How do you think Babs feels that she sucks Keemstar's cock, but she doesn't get to live in the mansion?
What?
What? All right, moving on. Go to the Reddit.
Oh, okay, buddy.
All right. And then this person, the Grimm's person. Apparently, there's somebody on Lolcow, and like these two have like cafe. Yeah, that it says that they're in the title. They're on Lolcow cafe. And he has some. He's a fucking weirdo, bro. Just play the clip. He's a fucking weirdo.
There was a phone call with Kelly and Wings. Twiggy, Boogie, and Keem were having the conversation with them, starting off with showing or talking about the clip that they saw, with the one where he slaps his hand on Kelly to stop her from beeping. Whenever they were trying to explain it, or whenever Wings was trying to explain it, I promise you when I say he definitely had 2 shovels in hand and there was already a grave ready, but he just kept on digging with both shovels, like one on each hand, because the things that he said were wild. Like he needs a lawyer today type shit. So like one of the things he said was, well, it's not domestic violence if you don't leave marks. And it's like, I'm sorry, what?
Well, I can't believe he said that, guys. That's wild, man.
Honestly, that's something Wings would easily say. Like that sounds.
Of course, that's something he would say, bro. Oh, that's wild, man. All right. You should.
Like that was the most unhinged
guy, right? Should hear what I said. We're tying it in for later on. What I said, Ali Malik should have done with that brick to that girl.
Oh,
but yeah.
Like that was the most unhinged thing I've ever heard him say in my life. Like I rather hear him talk about abusing children in a joking way than how serious he was when he said it's not domestic violence as long as you don't see the marks. That is fucked. And the fact
I cannot stand domestic violence. Kid diddling though, totally on board. Totally on board for kid diddling. Domestic violence, no. Go back.
Yeah, I'll play back.
And you started laughing before I could hear it.
Life. Like I rather hear him talk about abusing children in a joking way than how serious he was when he said it's not domestic violence as long as you don't see the marks. That is fucked.
Right.
He's
referring to because Wings got canceled for making a joke like in 2014 or something. The way he phrased that was the worst way possible. But yeah.
Guys are
right.
genius.
I'd rather hear you talk about fucking kids, all right, than hear you say that if you don't leave a mark on her, it's not domestic abuse. All right? God damn, that's where I draw the line. What? And he was obviously, I'm pretty sure he was joking about that you don't leave a mark thing. That's just his sense of humor.
No, I think he legit was trying to argue that this is Wings.
You think he was making the legal argument?
This was yes. I think he was making a legal argument. I legit think he was.
Well, it's not rape if she goes to the.
She doesn't go to the cops.
if she only goes to the cops like 4 days later, and there's no marks left.
All the evidence washed away.
You take it to its
All right.
fucking extreme.
Wait, there's a part where he's told to shut up or something. So keep playing.
Yeah.
Fact that what?
Who's awake?
It's Savage. Hey Savage. Good morning. What?
That's it.
Cool. What's next?
Cool beans.
Yeah. Oh wait. The
Oh,
hand
he
gesture
wears,
was telling him to move on.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what the funny
He
part
wears
is?
the pants in that relationship.
You know what the funny part is? What'd you say, Beavers? Cool beans.
Yeah.
Do you know who the girl's name on the right is? You know what they call her?
No, what's her name?
Beans.
Oh, cool beans.
Yeah.
Oh, you think she's cool?
Yeah, but that guy's failing. I know one fact about that guy is that he's a Muslim. All right, and you're failing as your role as a Muslim male role model. All right, you let that woman touch you on your hand, and you stop talking about what you want to talk about. Go read the Quran. God damn it.
He should understand what it's like having low blood sugar. He has to fast Ramadan and
Okay, that's that is just racist. What you just said.
Teddy with the 9.99 says, "See, Wings isn't like Alex. He doesn't need a brick. His hands are his weapon."
Well, to be fair, his hands are the size of bricks, but they're soft. You know, fat is kind of like a non-Newtonian fluid. When you touch it soft, it's like, ooh, it's gooey and soft. When it comes at you on the fist of a fat man, it's like, ow, this suddenly turned quite solid and it hurts. It's like a rubber fucking boxing glove. Anyway, I added this in for some levity. While I was making the docket for the stream, I pulled up Lolcow Live because I was looking into it. And I just thought, you know, whale watching. Why not?
Boogie gained 7 pounds.
6! It's 6, that's 351.
Get out of the way.
Fucking carpet. Fuck it.
Let's go. Billy was at 550.
God.
Let's go, Billy.
Be careful.
That's too slippery. I'm gonna fucking slide right off that thing.
Dry it.
I need a towel.
Towel on the
They're
sand.
doing this wrong, by the way.
Do you think they buy these scales from like an animal feed shop?
No, knowing Keem, he went to fucking Family Dollar. Got a scale. But they're doing this wrong. You're not supposed to do weigh-ins in the evening. You're supposed to do weigh-ins like as soon as they wake up in the morning after they have their first pee and their first shit. Then you weigh yourself.
You take a poop. You take a poop so you feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is your weight. Because your weight fluctuates throughout the day.
Yeah.
We knew we shouldn't have waited so on that carpet.
That's
Right?
scale. Let me wipe you down. I know you're sweating, baby. Get ready.
By the way, I picked
They
this
don't
part
design
out.
me for this. They don't design me for this.
Billy gained 40 pounds.
I had Chinese
Okay,
food.
maybe I was wrong about losing the 50 pounds thing. I know exactly what happened. I know exactly what happened. The scale is not a good scale. And so when you have someone that heavy, it can't configure, so they're gonna be like
I was about to say, I don't think that the tolerance, like in those scales, is good enough for that.
So you have to buy. So when you're that fat, you have to buy one of those special scales because I think they only go up. They only go up to like 300, and then beyond that, it's pretty much anybody's guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You buy one of those for cows.
Yeah.
Get a cattle scale.
And they'll be like, no, it's digital. It's digital. No, it probably has a weight limit.
I also think a lot of the fat doctors still use those you know those scales where you add the weights to it? You know the one where it's like the bar? And then
I know what you're
weight
talking
to it,
about.
you
Yeah.
get the balance. I think a lot of the weight doctors still use those because I think there's quite it can expand too. You know? If needed, you can hook the Chimera up to it. Right? And be like, you know? Hook up your Honda. There's a counterbalance. Alright, press play. Calm down, baby. It'll be okay. Only one more. Akeem's literally the fluffer in a porno.
I can't really.
Want to use my arm for a second?
Maybe, yeah, I can't really give it a good, yeah, I'm sliding.
Are we checking in again?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
Okay. The real number is 583.
Oh, it's way better, okay.
Better put some clothes on fellas. I am getting a half cup over here.
We're not putting them on so you get a full. Alright, everybody back at the pool.
Just want to understand.
Oh, did you see him untuck it? Oh, go back a second. Did you see him fucking untuck his tummy, bro? By the way, guys, this is when I tell you that I'm no offense to these guys, okay? I'm actually disgusted by fat people. Like, I have a visceral reaction to it. I do not like
well,
seeing
we've had Billy on the podcast, Beavers. Like, can't.
No, I like them. I like them as people. But once when I was watching that that supersized whatever show on like TLC, I once had to leave the room I was watching with my family. I had to leave the room because I was sick. I went over the toilet bowl. Like it's something about like in me that is just I don't know. It's like a fucking phobia or something. And that being said, I'm a fat ass, so but not that fat, obviously. Anyway, let's watch him untuck his tummy for content.
We just did.
Put them on so you get a full. Alright, everybody back at the pool.
I
was pulling it up over it. Back at the pool.
Why is it so soft at the bottom?
Back at the pool.
By the way, I hate public pools.
Give me my medicine ball.
You hate fat people. My phobia is public. I don't like public.
Okay, is it the people or is it like people peeing in the pool? Like what is?
Yeah, I had when I was a little kid. I had a bad experience. I was at a hotel with my family, and I'm swimming. I'm having a good time, and there was I'm like 6, 7 years old, and there's a girl on the steps, singing and playing, and all of a sudden I hear her screaming, and I look over, and she's just straight up like there's shit just dripping in the pool, and ever since then, I can't do public pools. Like, I just can't. Like, I haven't been to one since.
I wasn't alive for this. Okay, this happened before I was alive because my sister's quite a lot older than me. But apparently, once they went to this public pool, so there's a hot water pool on the one side, and then there's a thin piece of like concrete in between, and then there's a cold water pool on the other side. Right? My sister, who was something like 5 years old or 6, got out of the hot water pool, obviously the hot water, right? Pulled her pants down, sat on that middle piece of the pool, and then climbed into the cold water pool. And everybody was fucking disgusted, and they had to go call my mother. And my mother came, and then she had to go to the bathroom and get toilet paper and pick it up like it was dog shit. I also I went to a swimming vacation resort, and I saw 2 people fucking in the pool. I did not go back into that pool.
Okay. Yep. All right. Yep.
Wow, a lot of childhood trauma in the pools here.
I wasn't a child. I was like 17 at this point, but it's still gross, right? Because like the day afterwards, I found a condom. So
okay,
I don't think that it had happened. Like, why they got to ruin condoms in pools? Did you guys ever do that thing? You take a condom,
I like how you're ruining pools for Matt even more.
Court. I got a great tip. When Bieber starts doing this, just move on to the next thing and just start playing it. And it'll zap him out of it. I'm telling you.
Gotcha. Thank you.
All right, what's this?
Yeah. So this is the same night after the Wings stuff. Boogie had a full blown meltdown.
Yep. Boogie done lost his shit because they want to do something to his face again.
I think they wanted to fix up his tattoo.
They want to touch up his tattoo because he obviously doesn't have any self-control, and he'll explain why.
I'm just gonna pick it off my face again, you dumb mother. I'm just gonna pick it off my face again, you dumb motherfucker. I'm just gonna pick it off my face again.
We can't touch it up for real.
You can on my fucking corpse, motherfucker! Stop. You can on my fucking unconscious body, motherfucker! You can do it on my fucking corpse, motherfucker!
Chill out, Wings 2.0. Just don't push your girlfriend, Boogie.
Desi, stay far away.
If he pushed Desi, he'd break her, number one.
Oh, yeah, that would have been Desi would have been on the other side of the yard.
Chat, if any of you have children, that is a PSA for not molesting them. Because that's how they turn out.
What the actual fuck? I want to go back to Rust.
Hey, he spoke about it publicly. Okay, I'm not like dragging shit out. He fucking made a joke out of twisting his tipples. All right, I feel like the sympathy card has passed. Okay, he turned his own trauma into a joke. I'm just making better jokes about it.